How's it going, YouTube? Coming in today with another video, and today, guys, what the bring to you is going to be the Striker update, and I do hope that you enjoyed today's video because there's a lot to talk about, and we finally have Camellia in the TCG. It's been 2 years, and it's been too long. It's been in the OCG for a while, and we've just been kind of waiting for our opportunity to be able to get this card, because any 2-effect monsters is now full Striker combo, which is actually insane. And ironically, also full Yummy combo, right? So very strong, and I'm very excited to have this card in the TCG. There's a lot of opportunities for Striker right now, and a lot of different ways you can play it. Today we're talking about a lot of the different ways that the deck has evolved, cards that maybe you can cut, maybe you want to keep them, and then also we'll look up my list currently. It's going to be a fair bit different than what you're used to, and it's going to be what I ran yesterday, and I'll talk about the things that I would change, things I wouldn't change. We'll go through a lot today in terms of like what to expect with a new build of Striker. If you haven't already checked out my sponsors over in Gem, Cloud, Arla, Imperium, Dragonshield, RW, MainPhaze, and Grimoire, definitely go ahead and do so down below in the description. Also, go ahead and check out my coaching on METAFY down below in the description, just for some one-on-one play testing. If you have any more questions, definitely feel free to sign up and message me on Discord, and we can have a chat about that as well. PSA, go to Target, $22 for the new set. You want to go buy this. I just spent $101 on 3, but now it's like, what, $67, $68? It's not bad, right? And so that's something that you definitely want to take advantage of. This set is bonkers. Go get your Striker deck, your Mitsurugi deck, go get your promo pack, pull that Starlight Camellia, right? But $22, pretty good, right? So definitely take part in this because this sale is fantastic. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, definitely go ahead and do so we can hit our goal at 30,000. Now, without further ado, let's talk about some technical play in Striker. So the first thing I have for you today is going to be Camellia. So Camellia versus Droplet. This card has a very important line of text that says you can only special summon Camellia once per turn. Very reminiscent of all the other Striker links. This is important though. You cannot use the second effect of Camellia the turn that it's summoned because you can only summon it once. That means Camellia is supposed to be an endboard piece, which is pretty cool. Now you can have this play happen at any time, but in my opinion, I think it's the best to do this during the end phase, because what you can do is activate Droplet, send Camellia, and negate a monster your opponent controls. Activate Camellia, send a monster your opponent controls to the graveyard, give them Camellia, it's still the end phase, you get Camellia back. So you out a monster, you negate something to make sure that play goes through, and then you get Camellia back, which is kind of crazy, and something that you definitely should consider. But these are the things that you really want to know in Striker, because it's all about minimalistic gameplay that really gets you the win. Talking about minimalistic, let's talk about what happens with Widow Anchor and Droplet. Now remember these boards, Baron, Savage, this is where technical play really comes into effect. Let's say there's 2 spells in your grave. This is your hand right now, right? So what we're going to do is normal summon Ray effect. Let's say that they use one of these to go ahead and negate. We chain Anchor. There's only 2 spells in grave, so we're not going to be able to take. They chain the Baron to stop the Anchor. We chain Droplet, get rid of the Anchor. Now what happens? Well, although there was only 2 spell cards in the graveyard when we activated Anchor, Droplet for cost will send the Anchor to the grave, and it will make the Anchor the 3rd spell when Anchor resolves. So now, when we go to resolve this, we actually go ahead and we steal the Savage, tag out into like 0, right? And then we can add something like Engage. Now, the other thing that you can do here is, let's say you do this like backwards, the way that it works out, and you like steal the Baron, or you just like run over the Baron, right? You can always tag out into like Hayate, and let's say that this is half to 15 because of like the Droplet. You can always like run it over, right, with anything that you have. Let's say you just want to run over like the Savage, and you hit directly with the Hayate dumb spell. You can then go like Wind Charmer and then bring back the Baron, and that's what we used to do. And that's how we would crack these boards and then get a free Omni, right? And even better, if you have like a follow-up Droplet, then you can just go ahead and like use a Baron negate, right? And then go ahead and send it whenever you need to. Or if you just like have it on your board from the Reborn, you can go ahead and tag out and Reborn like a Ray or something, right? So there's a lot of ways that you can look at technical play in the deck, but this is definitely one of my favorite examples because of the fact that there's so many minimalistic things that you can do in this deck to really give you the edge. Now that we have Camellia, you can play more unethical Striker, in my opinion, which is playing things like Phantasme, Nibiru, Impulse with Fire Attacker. You can play all these draw cards because literally any normal summon of any monster at that point is just full Striker combo. And you're playing all the draw cards. And again, if you're going to be playing the deck where it's like 36 spell cards, it's very one-dimensional, and having hand traps and additional bodies to be able to use is going to be pretty important because that's how the deck can evolve now because of Camellia. That's why I really like Magnemut in this deck now, because if you go end phase Magnemut effect, and then you on board search, you get Druis and then Druis effect, and then you have double on board, immediately in your main phase, link for Camellia, send a card, now you have Camellia, dump a spell, go Kagari, add it back, right? Like, there's so many different ways you can play now, and so many different ways that you can get into Engine, because the deck's biggest problem has always been, I didn't draw Ray, but now a lot of things equal combo, right? So very cool, a little unethical, but very cool. Now, as much as I love Desires, Vision plus MST just replaces Desires. This is a 4-card package that is absolutely fantastic. You have enough natural quick plays in the deck that you don't really need more than just like Droplet to really make sure that this card shines. But this card is such a fantastic addition. I even added MST yesterday just to be able to out a Floodgate and then continue my turn. I auto had 2 spells in grave, right? Which is fantastic. But this engine alone, just make sure that you don't like accidentally banish something that you really need or multiple somethings, right? Because with Desires, you can have a really good game go very bad very fast with the activation of 1 spell card, you know? And then, if your Desires gets ashed, it feels even worse because then you just lost everything for nothing, right? But now we have Vision, which is an amazing replacement. So with Lightning Storm and Duster not really being all too popular at the moment, a lot of people are just on things like Double Cyclone. We have a great opportunity to be able to side things like Di-Fi. If you haven't already been siding things like Trap Trick and D-Ground, you should. These cards are absolutely fantastic. Striker is still too fair. You need to be able to make ways to control tempo, and if you can't do that, you might be in a losing position immediately, which is rough. A lot of decks right now can't play without their graveyard, so having something like D-Ground against Draco Tail, or if you're playing against like a Fiendsmith deck, you're playing against Yummy, there's a lot of different decks out there that lose to this. But these are the cards that really keep you in the game, and it's important to make sure that you have these available to you, especially with the knowledge that right now the mass blowout cards aren't really that popular. So you can even play cards like Di-Fi. Right now I'm on 2/2/2. I'm just on 2 Di-Fi, 2 D-Ground, and 2 Trap Trick, just to make sure that I can at least see one of them, because you do have heavy draw in the deck, so you're bound to see something, right? But obviously it's never guaranteed, but it's still an option in your sideboard. So this one bothers me a fair bit, but I've seen most lists have cut Afterburner, which is kind of crazy to me because of the fact that Burner itself is such a absolutely wild card. And the deck itself already plays really good going first or second. Is just what the deck can accomplish. Now it's more of like a going first deck. But having Burner is such a fantastic option for you regardless. And yeah, it kind of sucks when you draw it going first, but going second, this card is absolutely insane. Being able to non-targeting blow up a spell or trap, it just forces a lot of activations out, right? And your opponent kind of has to use something immediately if they want to keep it. And being able to also knock out a monster at the same time, it's pretty useful as a utility card. Striker has always just been this toolbox deck, and I'm trying to have as many different options in the toolbox as possible. That includes burners. Now, multi-roll is definitely a more cuttable card, which is kind of crazy to say that. I still like it, and I play one of it in my deck, but I do side it out going second. I usually keep it for going first in my grind game. This is something that demands a response, and I think that's the biggest thing for this in the deck, is the fact that playing cards like Thrust, Talent, or just wanting your opponent to interact in such a way for you to be able to have a well-timed anchor or droplet, this card really does promote that, which is nice. Even being able to go like activate multi-roll, normal summon Ray, roll target Ray, chain Ray, right, to make sure the roll still goes through, is a pretty crazy way to go about it. And this card just promotes such crazy interactions with your opponent because they kind of have to respond to this, and if they don't, then they can't respond anyways for the rest of the turn. You guys always hear me like a broken record. My favorite play in all of Striker is activate multi-roll, set talent, multi-roll target talent, right? They either let roll resolve, you never need a talent, or they negate multi-roll and then you flip talent, right? So definitely a pretty crazy way to go about it, and I still like this card, but definitely understand the reasons behind wanting to cut it. So here's my build, and I know that a lot of people are really used to seeing 36 spell cards, and listen, I'm just not really vibing with that. That's not really something that I want to do. I understand the want to do that, like triple upstart, right? And like just every draw card possible. But like, it's very one-dimensional, and I know that it's like had a couple tops, but it's not really something that I feel like I would play. It's not really something that I feel like is necessarily the best build, but there's so many different ways to play Striker and build Striker that I feel like you should really experiment and try to take on different builds just to see what you can make work. The heaviest win percentage of decks lately, or at least top percentage, have been maining 6 Charmies. So when I went to locals yesterday, I did end up playing the 6 Charmies. I think it's absolutely heinous. So there is some striker list out there not even playing a Charmy at all. Charmies are the craziest cards in this game right now. And if you're trying to set tempo and you lose die roll, these cards set tempo. They make sure the board does not get too big. And if they want to go too big and they don't know that you're just playing striker because it's game 1, you're breaking that board no matter what, right? So I think that they are the best surprise in game 1, especially if you're losing die roll. And especially the fact that so many decks right now just have such a hard time around these, especially like if you play against Radiant Typhoon and you have Perulia, it's a rough day, right? So something that I definitely really enjoyed for the deck yesterday was the 6 Charmies. I am playing Ash and Droll. Mitsurugi is a really rough matchup for this too, and I know that there's a lot in my local area, so I'm on these cards. And I feel like, especially Droll, is just like cut from so many different lists right now, which is insane, just in general. And it just answers so much in the format, especially Yummy, all the Fiendsmith variants right now. Once they go in Grave Research, you just hit them with Droll. And having something like Ash to be able to answer the Saji after you tribute it with the Habakiri and put them on better, have the ritual spell, things like that, you know, that are really important and they do really help out. So this is my take on the deck right now, and I really do like the way that I built this here. And maybe there'll be a change here and there, but for right now, this is the way that I'm rocking the deck currently. The deck also naturally goes first or second right now. I am siding the 1 Illusion Gate because we are playing the 2 Thrust. That card is really nice. It's really nuts. And again, any normal summon, right? Any normal summon next to it will just get you into full combo anyways. So if you like Illusion Gate, summon something, then you'd like normal Droll or Ash or Fua or Perulia, you have your full striker combo. It doesn't matter. And, you know, it's the same thought process behind playing cards like Nibiru or Retsi. These are cards that you can just play now because any normal summon will get you to combo anyways, right? So it is really nice to have, and they are really nice options. If you haven't already checked out my Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Instagram, definitely go ahead and do so, and then subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Thank you.